here with Backspindle Games. We're going to be talking about 2 of their games here. So we've got Mornquest and the other one is Speedy Ninjas, I believe, as well.
Yes, it is.
But before we get stuck into that, we're just going to talk about the raffle that we're doing this weekend. So this Geek and Sun table that you see here, you can actually win this. All you've got to do is go over onto their raffle page, which is linked to the top of the live blog. You pay a £5 entry to get into their raffle. You fill in a really easy question, and then you could walk away with this if you're a lucky person at the end of this weekend, which is pretty awesome indeed. But yes, we're going to get stuck into these games, learn a little bit more about them, because Mornquest, the first one, this was on Kickstarter quite recently, and it was doing very well indeed, wasn't it?
Live right now.
Is it still live right now as well? Yeah. Yeah, cool. How long have we got left on it?
About 6 days.
6 days left on it, so you can still get involved on that one. But yes, tell us a little bit about Mornquest. We've got some amazing miniatures here we're going to be showing off as well, but let's dive into the game and learn a little bit more about the background and everything first. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Mornquest is all Irish fantasy. It's based on a teenage book written by Gary McElheron about a little boy Jack who loses his father to sea and goes to blow on a dandelion. This is Jack here, little mini of Jack.
Show him off under the camera here. So
he blows the dandelion and his wish doesn't come true. His dad doesn't come home and he goes off very upset and meets up with this little, let's say, leprechaun Courlahan type character. He's called Cobbs, and they go off on this adventure to see what's wrong and what's happening. He's actually a dandelion hunter. What's wrong and why this hasn't worked. And on this adventure, they meet all these fantastical creatures and characters from the book, all based in Irish mythology. Obviously, we've all heard of the Banshee, but there's a Dullahan, there's a Snipe, there's a Merrow. And he meets a lot of characters as well who are the fairy folk.
We'll show off some of the different sculpts and stuff that we got for the game, which is really
So
cool.
really how the game plays is they go around the board, which is a map of the Mourne Mountains, which is where the book was based. The tree within the tree and so on. We actually have a 5-foot model of that done by the sculptor of the Hobbit, would you believe?
Oh wow.
Which we will have at QCon, which is a festival in Belfast at the end of this month. But on the map here you can actually see places in the Mourne Mountains named. They go around and they try to collect these resources that are on these 4 discs where these nightmares are based. There's the Changeling, the Banshee, the Dullahan and the Merrow. And after every player's turn, they're putting on these flax, granite, gold and blackthorn, etc.
I'm just going to show off some of that. So you've got some of the tokens here.
Yeah.
You can see that they'll be picking up. Got them there.
So after you play your turn, you will move the moon marker. This is the time obviously is ticking, and it's a bit like Forbidden Island or whatever. Time is ticking. You must get there, and you must work cooperatively to save the Mourne and the kingdom from these beasts coming out into the real world. And then you roll a compass dice on level 1, and you turn whichever compass dice it is. If you roll one of the compass symbols in the dice, then you'll be putting a compass symbol in the middle.
Right.
Sadly, when you put 6 of those in, all 4 dice all turn 1, so the game sort of bites back at you.
Yeah.
Once this goes all the way around, once you're into the next phase of the moon, it's turned over and it's a red moon. Then you're rolling 2 compass dice. So that part of the game is ramping up. The discs, 1 disc could move 2 times, or 2 discs should move 1 time. If 1 disc is locked in or whatever, or locked out, the rolls from those discs roll onto the next disc. So they're not wasted. The game keeps biting back at you. Basically what happens if you manage to get all your resources in here before this disc comes round to the red marker, you will get, this guy will be cast out, you'll get a talisman set on the disc, and you will get that as a reroll, which is very useful when you're fighting the big Shimnivore at the end in the final battle. On your way you can build up your characters, as you can see from the card here. You can build up your courage, your strength and your magic from going to these nexus points. You can draw from that deck.
So I'm just going to show off one of the characters here. So this is one for Jack. There on the thing. Card there. Very cool.
And you can also pick up what happens during the monster's turn. There's the player's turns and the monster's turn. We draw from the black velvet bag, and out of that bag you can get a number of things. One can be the bog beans, which are these annoying pesky little miniatures here. You can see. 2 bog beans can move, and sometimes they move faster than other times, so they go after you, and they don't really hurt you generally. They try to steal your stuff. But the good thing is if you defeat them or banish them, you get to steal whatever they drop when they run away.
Right, okay.
Then finally there's the treasure, and the treasure discs are these, and they would go on the crossroads. It's a bit like the pot at the end of the rainbow, the whole Irish thing. Most of the pots are full of good stuff that'll help the players, magical stuff, but there's a few not so good things in there where people have already found the pot prior to you getting to them, and they've replaced them with a few nasties. So yeah, I mean, the bog beans are these smaller inconveniences, and obviously they're more like little thieves and so on. No, he's a hero.
Is he one of the characters?
This is one of the bog beans here. Yeah, that's the wee snipe, and obviously the big wart, which is the one there that's quite menacing and green with the yellow hair.
Very cool.
So basically, yeah, that's what you do. The final battle, you come up against the Shimnivore, and he will emerge once this moon goes all the way around to the second and arrives here. Prior to that, you would have been doing your combat throughout the game, and the combat is done on 3 levels of the moon. There's the red moon, the blood moon, which is obviously going to be very hard. The grey moon is the medium moon, and the green moon is easy. And once on the board per round, there's a blue moon at the bottom, which is Cobbs' birthday. And this is Cobbs. This is the guy that Jack met. He's more like a typical leprechaun character if you look at him, but he's a Curlahan. He's a cousin of the leprechauns. But once it comes round to there, the second time the Shimnivore emerges, the final battle begins, and he's got to break through these 4 keystones at the 4 points in the wall. And if he does that twice, these are like the breakout tokens for the meantime. If he does that twice, the game ends. So you got to try and defeat him. You got to build your characters up. You got to stop the nightmares, cast them out, and you've got to deal with the little pesky bog beans. There are a few places on the board where you can swap out resources, like trading posts. There's the tunnels where you can jump from one side of the board to the other. The game plays very simply. You have 3 actions, and there's 3 levels of difficulty, so you can play the game on easy, medium, or hard. On easy level, you get to do multiple pickups and multiple drop downs of resources. Same on the medium level, but obviously the disc has moved on one, so it's a little bit harder. And then on level 3, every pickup costs an action, so it gets tougher. Yeah,
I see that some of the characters have all got their own sort of abilities and things like that, and their own. So when you're coming to this, you're going to have lots of interesting sort of asymmetry between some of the different characters when they come down to the table, which is really cool to do. And so, how many players does it work with? What's the player range from?
Well, 1 to 4 really.
1 to 4, yeah.
Yeah. So really, on top of that, I mean, I say we've got it on Kickstarter. There's really stunning minis in there. We've got a few nice stretch goals. We've been told it's got everything in a Kickstarter people want, so hopefully they'll get on board and back it. There is a standees version, so if people don't have as much money to spend a disposable income at this time, they can go on and check it out. I think it's $29.99. So that's certainly possible.
I was going to say actually about some of the miniatures and stuff we're seeing here. Obviously, they've got their inspiration coming from Irish mythology and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you went out and looked at loads of different sources when it came to designing the sculpts and stuff for this.
Well, actually, it was actually John Farley, who's a friend of Gary, who wrote the book. All know each other. He designed the characters initially.
So it's all drawn from his
the artwork. So
style and stuff.
All the sculpts are based on John's artwork, and a few of the hero characters are actually based on Gary and John's family as well. So, but also Irish mythology as
Which
well.
Is really cool.
So it's a kind of combination of John's vision and Gary's descriptions.
We were talking to Sam a little bit earlier because he came in and had a look at some of the miniatures and stuff, and he's obviously a massive Discworld fan, and he was talking about some of the characters and stuff. So I'm just going to show this guy up over here. So, which I know that Sam loves in its entirety, as you can see there. But yeah, very cool indeed.
Yeah, it's a little tribute, but we didn't officially name anything.
Yeah, but it's just something nice for people that know a little bit more.
It's just a familiarity for the great man, and we bow down. We really do. It was the first time we were able to take like pen pictures and of an author's work and turn it into a game.
Yeah.
And now we've got the opportunity to do this again, especially as I have the Kickstarter funds, and it's a couple of years' work. You know, John has been behind us, the author's been behind us, Alan has been doing fantastic jobs on the sculpts, and he also painted the minis.
Yeah, they are looking absolutely fantastic here, and it's one of those games that just is incredibly inviting, because it's just the art design and the aesthetic of it all just makes you want to sit down and play it and get stuck into it as well.
It's the great story behind it and all the books and everything as well, and you know, tried to make it quite colourful.
So if people want to go beyond the game as well, they've got options to go and read a little bit more about it, which is really cool.
Oh yeah,
the ebook is free with the Kickstarter.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So you back the Kickstarter, you get a free copy of the ebook. There are maybe some, I don't know if there's any of the signed copies of the books left with the Kickstarter as well. But yeah, certainly the book is well worth a read. It's like a teenage Irish fantasy novel, and there's now a second book out as well.
Awesome. So if you're
Gary's
interested
just
in
about
that,
to start writing a third one as well.
perfect. So there's loads of stuff for people that want to get stuck in with this and sort of show it off a bit more with their kids and families and things, which is really cool. And of course for big kids too, getting stuck into these games.
There's actually a competition on the Kickstarter to design a character for the third
There
book
is.
as well.
Well there you go.
So you can't miss that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And so that's a little bit on Morn Quest, but the next game we're going to look at as well is this one that's coming out in the future, yeah? So this is Speedy
Hopefully for
Ninjas.
Essen.
Essen, okay, so this is Speedy Ninjas. Take us through this one and sort of how this one comes together. So.
Well, this is an idea by a Russian designer who came to us
Here, yeah.
a couple of years ago, and he basically gave us an idea around Speedy Ninjas, and we sort of played about with it a bit, and we actually asked Alan to do some graphics. So he's done the boards for us, so you can see all the little houses, the rooftops, a little bit of shrubbery up here. But as you can see, basically we put little ninja miniatures down at that end, and you play one of those 4 hero characters or whatever, and you try to work your way through the streets, avoid these little black meeples, which are the guards, and get everybody onto the roof of the Shogun's palace.
Cool.
Before the tracker here moves, probably initially in this level, to 25 or whatever the score is for that number of players. So to do that, you have a number of cards, and the cards on them, you will be dealt 4 cards. You will play 3 cards, and that's not a good example. Oh, it is. It is. I'll turn them up the right way. So basically, that's not a good example because I won't actually let you move backwards.
I'll take some of these and show them off over here.
But basically, on this prototype, we've got little yellow cubes for lights. We've got black meeples for the guards. Some of the guards, you can see there's little red arrows, will move.
Okay.
If those tiles are active, they will move. Other guards have a little bit of a tile where they cover, a cone of vision where they can see. So you can't actually stop there on a turn. And how the game plays is, the initial version of it is that you have to play 3 of your 4 cards. So one player plays a card, another player plays a card, another player plays a card, and they move as in the patterns on those cards there.
So we'll go back into this and see some of the...
Yeah, so they move maybe forward and left 2, or forward and right 2. They move left 1 and diagonal. It's a little bit, for me, a bit like one of those old car racing games where you've got to dodge things coming in the rolling road, the scrolling road idea. So basically you're trying to do that. You take 3 turns, 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 1 player. Then if you've lifted any of the yellow lights as a penalty, or you've had to stop and kill a guard or whatever, you then take the penalty cards, which are these red ones. They can put the alarm up, they can force you to go backwards. If you end your turn on any of the roads, you get a penalty.
Okay.
But it's only your 3rd turn. If you end your 2nd turn on the road or your 1st turn on the road, you're okay, because technically time is still moving.
Yeah.
The issue for me is that, again, like all these games, once you get to the top, and we haven't got on this board, there will probably be some guards that will respawn or will arrive up here if the alarm is triggered. So as you move up the board, it gets a little bit harder. You can help each other cooperatively, and on your turn you can give somebody a card. Like, you can use this and it'll help you get up there. But what we had in mind for the second part of the game is, once you get here to the Shogun, we'll then probably have double-sided boards.
Okay.
We'll flip these over.
Yeah.
We'll have a different deck for going back down, and it's every man for themselves.
Ah, right.
So
there's a little bit. There's the cooperative element to begin with, and then it becomes a bit more competitive. As you're like, we need to get out of here now.
It becomes a bit like more like Mario Kart. You pick stuff up, you drop stuff down. You're
shells and bananas everywhere.
Exactly.
You're the ninja who gets out to the end first. You are the plaudits. You've killed the Shogun, and you win the game.
So it's got that little bit of the racing side to it, and that cooperative thing, and then a little bit of backstabbing on the way back out as well.
Oh yeah,
You're obviously up against the timer on the way here.
Yeah.
So it's all about balancing all of those different mechanics together and stuff like that, which is really cool.
And you have different difficulties. If you take a couple of the cards out, then you can reduce the timer and have a shorter game if you haven't got much time, or just play up to this point and don't do the race. So it's quite...
It's got some modularity in the way you want to play it as well. Which is really nice. And it goes up to, is it 4 players that you can play this with in total?
Yeah, 4 players.
Which is very cool indeed.
Although I think sometimes people want to play it, player versus player on the way up and on the way down.
Yes.
I suppose that would also be a different way of playing it, so that's pretty interesting. But
well, there is a card in there where you can swap the position of any 2 ninjas. So if somebody gets like 5 or 6 or 7 in front of you,
So it could be very beneficial.
Yeah.
But it could, and you could be like, don't worry, I'm going to give you a helping hand up because I've got loads of cards to help me keep moving up the table.
Yeah.
Or it could be like, nah, screw you guys, I'm going straight to the top.
Yeah. So that's the idea of it, and you know, the whole jumping from rooftops thing. You know, we're very much looking at the funny side of an ad on TV currently for a chocolate bar.
Yeah, and so what's the plan with this going forward? Is it coming through to Kickstarter, or is it going to go straight to development?
We're going straight to print, hopefully for Spiel this year in October.
Fantastic, yeah.
And it'll be hopefully new there for everybody to play and take away and have lots of fun with it, really.
Yeah, very cool. And so obviously you're saying that Mornquest is still on Kickstarter at the moment, so people can get involved with that, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at likes of Gen Con and stuff this year as well, or?
Well, I'll be at Gen Con.
Yeah.
I will be there. I will probably be hanging out mostly in the, I don't know, the ACD lounge or whatever. I will be around. I love, you know, going to Gen Con. It's a big show for us. Certainly they haven't seen Speedy Ninjas in Gen Con, so I'll probably take that with me.
Doing a little bit of previewing of this. So if anybody wants a chance to come and try and play these games, they've got plenty of ability to do so.
I'll probably be on the Ninja Division booth at some stage, showing Speedy Ninjas, I would imagine.
Fantastic. And so for people that are coming to the UK Games Expo over this weekend, where are you guys based in the hall? And if you want to come and do some demos and stuff?
Hall 1, K12.
There we go.
Like K9 the dog, but K12.
Very cool indeed. Yeah, both of these looking absolutely fantastic. I really love all the aesthetic and the design of Mornquest, as I said earlier. Just everything about it has that wonderful like edge of charm, which is really nice as well. So
I mean, it really is an easy to play family and gamers game, because what you do collecting resources early in the game or making your character strong will affect how the game plays later. No two games will play the same. You'll think in this one, because the discs, you can't predict what way they'll turn as well. You know, this one may turn 10 times in the first 10 turns. And you're like, why?
So every time you're coming back to play it, it's going to have a different puzzle for you to solve when you sit down to play.
It's even the board's based on map of
We're just going to have another look at it
of the Mourns. We tried to put everything in the areas, so all the places are named on the board.
Spelling it out.
We've tried to put everything in the place that it is on the map, slightly distorted.
Do we have Bloody Bridge on there? Yeah, sounds appropriate, doesn't it? Is it after 9 o'clock?
Not just yet.
there's a few places on there. It's one of those Pierce's castles on there.
So if you actually went to the Mourns, you would see those. You could really find those places. If you really.
So you take the board with you and just go about.
It's one of those things which is great for fans of folklore. So that's
exactly
nice,
It is.
Apart from a couple of things that don't actually exist, like the castle.
An Irish,
but they all exist in our minds. That's the main thing.
But Irish fantasy hasn't really been very explored in the gaming environment before, and I know it's a niche market, but you know, this is done as accurately as we can do it in terms of the characters and the fantasy ideas and the flora and the fauna and everything else.
I think that's what's great to see coming to the fore now, especially now in board gaming as a whole. We're seeing a lot more sort of niche areas, as you say, coming out in board game form or in role-playing form or anything like that. So the ability for people to learn a little bit more about something that they maybe had like a passing knowledge of, or maybe even just an inkling of, is really, really fantastic.
Well, I mean, we were very honoured because a number of industry experts came to us over the show preview and said, what you guys do is you make a good game first, and then you put everything else that fits with it in there, which is good. And then Tom Vassell came down and said, you know what, he says, boys, those minis are gorgeous.
I remember he did. He went to see you guys, I think last year at one of some of the events, and he nominated it as one of his favourite games as well, I think, which is very cool. So
first time with sculpted miniatures too.
Really? Oh wow! Well, you've done a darn good job of it, I must say. So
it was in at the deep end.
But there you go, guys. So that's a quick look at what we've got for Mornquest, which is still on Kickstarter, as you say, and also Speedy Ninjas, which is coming up from the guys at Backspindle. Some amazing games to check out. Remember to come and see them at the UK Games Expo if you're here this weekend. If not, they're going to be at events and stuff like that, and we'll be definitely diving into the news and showing off more of what you guys are doing in the coming weeks and months as well. So make sure to do that. We're going to move on now, and we're going to move on to the next segment in a little bit time. But remember, this Geek and Sun table is up for raffle this weekend. What you're gonna do is go. It's really nice, isn't it? It's so good. I want to take it away with me home, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
No, my wife would make me live or sleep on the table.
You will use it for absolutely everything.
Yes, that is where you live from now on, under the table.
But yeah, so this is going to be available as part of the raffle. All you got to do is answer this very simple question, put in your details. I think it's about £5 for a ticket. Get involved with that, and you could walk away with this and to play games like Morn Quest and Speedy Ninjas on in your very own home. So yes, guys, we're going to be back very, very soon. Thanks again to Backspindle for taking us through this games and showing them all off. Make sure to check them out here at the UK Games Expo, and we'll be back very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.